Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Monica and today I am redoing my part-time YouTuber tag. So almost 3 years ago, it was in 2019, I think, looking at the video, I created my own tag and it was called the part-time YouTuber tag. And I created it because at the time I was getting a lot of questions from you guys about like, what was my day job like? How do I spend my days? How do I do my YouTube channel? How do I organize everything? And I realized that I wanted to share that information, but I also was curious about that information about like all of my YouTube friends too. So I created this tag to really help us get to know more about part-time YouTubers, which is essentially anyone who doesn't do YouTube as their full-time job. So many people did the tag and I loved watching everyone do it. And actually to this day, just this past Vlogmas, so many people were still doing my tag. Like I was so happy like the day I saw Teresa is Dead do my tag, and also getting to learn more about her, which is like the whole point of the tag, and it's fun. And I'm just happy that people are still doing the tag to this day. And I thought, you know what? I did this tag years ago. Half of my answers are different because at the time, I was younger, I was in my same job, but in a previous position. I've gotten promoted since then, and I was living with family, and I was like saving up for like student loans and to move out and everything. And now it's a couple years later, you can hear Rex, it's a couple years later, I'm living with my fiance in our apartment and things are different and in a great way. So I thought, you know, what better time to redo the tag? If you missed the first video where I did this tag, I'll throw it up in the cards. And I also have the playlist where I've been adding all of everyone's tags that I've been seeing throughout the last couple of years. So if you happen to know of somebody's tag who isn't on my playlist, let me know. I want to add everyone that I see do the tag to that playlist. I'll have that big playlist down in the description box and also up in the cards. So like I said, about half of these questions are going to be different, and half of them are probably going to be the same because they go back to when I first started my YouTube channel. So question number 1. What is your main gig? Do you work full-time? Are you a student, a parent? Spill the beans. So I work full-time. I work in publishing, specifically textbook publishing. And actually this last year I took a course and I just got my project management certification. I got the CAPM, which is the Certified Associate in Project Management. I was very proud of myself. You know, it was a long course. I had to study a lot. I had to learn a lot, and I got that certification. I was very, very proud of myself. And so I'm actually using that certification now to hopefully get a promotion to a project management position sometime this year. And since I last did the video, I think when I first did the tag, I was an editorial assistant, which is kind of like your entry level, like junior editor kind of position. Since then, I was promoted to editorial coordinator, which is like one step up from there. And then I'm still an editorial coordinator. I think I still am. Look at me forgetting my actual title right now. But yes, so I am still the coordinator position right there, but I'm hoping to use the fact that I just got my certification to bump me up one more step. So that is my full-time job. I work on textbooks, specifically like editorial project management. So I'm not the one writing the textbooks, but I am the one overseeing and running the project from like very beginning all the way to publishing. And also back when I filmed my first tag, I was still working in our office. We had an office in Hoboken, New Jersey. I live in Essex County, New Jersey. And it was, honestly, the commute was horrific. I hated the commute. I liked being in the office. It was a beautiful office. We had a beautiful view of New York City. I loved my desk. I loved the whole building. I hated getting there and I hated coming home. And actually back then, I did not like working from home, which if only the 2019 Monica knew what was going to happen. So at that point in time, I was working in the office 4 days a week, working from home 1 day a week, and now I just work from home permanently. I was actually going to go back to the office eventually, but yeah, life. But also like they're totally changing the office, so if I were to go back to the office, I wouldn't have like a desk. I wouldn't have an assigned desk. I would essentially have to like schedule a room every day, and I don't want to have to do that, especially when I could get like a nice home office now. So I now permanently work from home. Question number 2 is, what made you start YouTube in the first place? And I don't think this is really going to change much from the first video, but I was watching YouTube all the time, specifically like old school like beauty YouTube. And I remember when I first saw like smaller YouTube creators, smaller beauty creators specifically, I saw how much fun they were having and how they were making friends and they were doing tags and they were just doing everything that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to go on camera and talk about my favorite products. I wanted to make friends and talk to people that are also into my niche. Like I wanted to talk to people that also had my interests, because if like in my regular everyday life, if I try to talk about specific makeup techniques or brands or anything, no one has any clue what I'm talking about for the most part. So it was really on like YouTube and on Instagram where I was able to make friends, and I've made so many great friends that I've been friends with for years now. And I only made those friends because I made my Instagram and I made my YouTube channel. So that was the main reason that I did it. It wasn't to like make money or have a giant channel or blow up. It really was just to become part of the community that I saw, like the true beauty community, not like the toxic whatever million subscriber beauty community like they put in like the tabloids or anything. Like they're called the beauty community, but really that's not what the way that I see it. The true beauty community are like the smaller creators that are still passionate about the makeup. It could even be bigger creators who are still passionate about the makeup, but I have to admit I really only watch smaller YouTubers. I think the biggest creator I now watch is Taylor Wynn, just because I love her content. But the beauty community to me are the smaller creators that are still passionate about makeup, and I'm just so happy that I now get to be a part of that community. Question number 3 is, what is your channel about? Do you stick to one niche or do you cover a few? This one's pretty much the same as when I first did this tag. I like beauty, I like makeup. I do a little bit of videos here and there about like skincare and hair care, but in general, my content is basically on beauty reviews, and then panning. I love project panning. Specifically, I do Pan That Palette, and I just created my own tag, not my own tag. I just created my own project not too long ago called the Petty Project Pan. So I'm also doing that right now. Recently, since I've made the first video, I've actually done a few vlogs, and the vlogs, I am so happy I did that because I get to go back and like relive those times in my life. So like I filmed moving vlogs for when Alvin and I finally got our first apartment together. And I've gone back and I've rewatched those a few times already, even though they were only from a year ago. But I'm so happy that I was able to document that time in our lives. And now that we can go back and look at it and relive it, it's awesome. So every now and then I'll throw in a vlog. I think I just did like a productive day in my life vlog a few weeks ago. But I love moving vlogs. I love watching them. I loved making them. And I think as we move forward, and it's not going to be like super often, but I do want to pepper in a vlog every now and then just so I can kind of like document this time in our life, because time has been moving fast, I think, ever since we moved. And I'm trying to be a bit more mindful about enjoying where we currently are. Question number 4 is, did you always know YouTube would be a side gig, or did you/do you ever want to be a full-time YouTuber? My answer is the exact same from the first video. And that answer is, I never want to be a full-time YouTuber. This will never be my full-time job. This is a hobby that I really am passionate about and really enjoy. I like that I make a little bit of money from this, and whatever money that I get, I can put right back into the channel. Most recently, I got my last check, it was like a month or 2 ago, and I was able to use that money to buy a new mic. So I actually have like a decent microphone now that I can finally use, because my last microphone, it was like a cheap $40 USB mic that I had to modify heavily just to make it sound like okay. Now I have a decent microphone. I also mentioned this in the first video, but like even if like by some random chance my channel were to blow up, I would not make this my full-time job still. I really look up to like Christine from Simply Nailogical. She has multi-million YouTube subscribers. She makes a lot of money from here, but she keeps her full-time job. She works for the Canadian government. She does so much. So she has her own brand. She works for the government. She has her YouTube channel. She started a scholarship program at her alma mater. She does a lot of great charity work. So that would be like my ideal. If my channel were to blow up, I would want to be more like Christine and keep kind of my like day job, my career and everything, but then still take the opportunities and do a lot of great things with like the opportunity. Question number 5 is, what is your schedule like? When do you film? When do you edit? So I think this is going to be one of the biggest changes from the first video that I did. So back then I actually had to commute to the office, and I would wake up at like 5 a.m., 4 or 5 a.m. and I would get ready. I would film in the morning, and then I would go take the trains, work a full day, come home, have dinner, and then I would edit at night. Now, I permanently work from home, which is very nice, which means I get to sleep in till 6 a.m. on work day. So I wake up at 6 a.m. I do still in the morning, instead of like waking up and doing like my filming in the mornings, I wake up and I like to do my editing throughout the week in the morning. So in between like 6 and like 7:30 is when I will go in, do my editing, do my thumbnails, all that fun stuff. And then At 7:30 is when Alvin leaves for work. I feed Rex his breakfast, and then I will get ready for the day. So I'll do my makeup, I'll get dressed, I'll start working at 9. And thankfully, my commute, it's like across this room. My work desk is on the other side of this room, so I work there for the full day. And the good thing is that, like, on lunch break, sometimes if I have a little bit of a longer lunch break, I can come sit over at this desk. I can do a thumbnail. I can chill. I can answer some questions, fun stuff like that. But typically I try to focus on my actual job during the day from 9 to 5. 5 o'clock, work day is over. I typically, most days, since I do work from home, I will make dinner. Alvin makes dinner once or twice a week, but he's working mostly 8 to 10 hour days outside the house. So he gets a pass on making dinner most of the time. So I'll make dinner. I like to spend like dinner time with Alvin and with Rex, so I will spend time with them, and my filming. So I usually film now on Sundays. I have the apartment to myself because Alvin does work on Sundays. His weekend is actually Friday and Saturday. So he has Fridays off and he has Saturdays off. He works Sunday through Thursday. So since I have the house to myself on Sunday, well, not totally to myself, Rex is here. Since I have the house to myself on Sunday, I use that day to kind of plan ahead and film. And now that I have my schedule kind of cut down to 2 videos a week, I can get 2 or 3 videos filmed on Sunday, and then I edit them throughout the week and they get posted throughout the week. So I think that's the biggest change from the last video, is just how I've made changes to my posting schedule, my filming schedule, and my editing schedule. Question number 6 is, how do you keep your YouTube channel organized? Do you plan videos ahead of time or just film what you feel like? I am very type A. I hyper organize everything. So I've actually upgraded from the last video. I used to organize all my videos on a Google Doc. I've upgraded to Notion. So Notion is actually a project management software that you can fully customize. This is not sponsored, but I wish it was because I love my Notion. I'm actually finishing some things around my dashboards, but I do plan on doing eventually like a full Notion tour video, because I watched a ton of them when I was getting my Notion get together. But I basically have, I'll throw a screenshot up here, and actually the last vlog that I did a little bit of a walk through my Notion. I'll have that up in the cards. But I basically have a content calendar where I plan my videos out. I move them around a lot, so I find that like a digital kind of calendar works best for me, because if I had a physical planner, I was just messing them up and changing things too often for it to be feasible. So I've got like a whole page for ideas. I track my PR and sponsorships on here. I have my content calendar. I've got my creative brain dump. I keep track of channels I want to check out. I keep track of palettes that I have so that I can do some future videos. So I hyper track and plan, but I have a lot of fun doing this. Like part of this I do in my everyday job because I am a project manager essentially, but I also have a lot of fun doing it here. So that's how I kind of keep track. But let me know down below if you're interested in seeing like a full, like in-depth Notion tutorial / walkthrough. I'm excited to answer this next question. So question number 7 is, how do you feel about sponsored videos on YouTube? Have you / would you ever do one on your channel? Now, when I came up with this question, I had never done a sponsored video. I was open to doing sponsored videos, but I knew that they had to be fully disclosed. I had talked about, like I did a story time in my last video about how like upset I was at like hidden and like sneaky sponsorships in the beauty space, because it's much more misleading in the beauty space, because the beauty community is focused so much more on products and how they perform. So it is much easier for a content creator to sell out, so to speak, and like try to shill more. I think, unfortunately people like Chocolate Hill have given the beauty community a bad name with that kind of stuff. But I said I was all for it as long as you fully disclosed. As of now, I've done a couple of sponsorships, and they've been with products that I've been fully supportive of and actually really enjoyed. Specifically, the most recent one, I did Ana Luisa. So Ana Luisa did 2 sponsored videos with me, and before those sponsored videos, I received the products in PR. I wore them, I enjoyed them. I actually bought a few of them as gifts for my friends and family for Christmas, and knowing that, and being fully upfront about the sponsorship, I was happy with it, and I was happy to be recognized in that way on my smaller channel, because I also have a much smaller channel than a lot of other people. I am open to sponsorships in the future, but they are always, as always, going to be fully disclosed, and I don't want to take a sponsorship that like doesn't make sense. Like I do get a lot of emails that are like spam, like not spam, but like mass emails from brands reaching out to a bunch of YouTubers at once, and it's, first, slight sidebar about email etiquette. When brands reach out to a bunch of YouTubers and they're just like all CC'd, Like that's not good etiquette. Email each one individually. Because I saw, like, it's interesting seeing like what other YouTubers I get grouped with, you know, for those kind of things. But also it's just, it's rude. Honestly, it's rude to just email, like mass email like that. Anyway, long story short, I am open to sponsorships, but I'm very picky about my sponsorships. And I learned from the mistakes of previous YouTubers of the past, right? And I'm glad that I was able to learn from others' mistakes and be a bit more picky. And I'm grateful that since I do have a full-time job, I am secure financially, I can be picky. I don't have to pick things just to be able to pay my bills, right? And that's how I always want it to be. Last but not least, we have question number 8. Question number 8 is, what do you think is the biggest challenge of doing YouTube part-time? The last video that I did, I mentioned, I believe it was the scheduling, like trying to figure out, you know, how often are you going to post. It's difficult to balance this with a full-time job because, especially back when I was doing 5 or 3 videos a week, it's 20 to 30 hours a week on top of a 40-hour-a-week job. So there is a lot. And I will say I am trying to find a better balance. Like this is something I love. I'm passionate about it. But as someone who is a chronic overworker, I need to learn how to take a little bit better care of myself and not constantly work myself into the ground. So I've been throwing around ideas about possibly taking a little bit of a YouTube break, but then unfortunately, YouTubers are kind of sort of punished by YouTube for taking breaks because then your videos aren't recommended as often and blah, blah, blah. But I like doing this. So part of me doesn't want to take a break because I like doing it, and then part of me doesn't want to take a break because like what happens to my channel, you know? Long story short, I still think the biggest issue is scheduling, just finding the time in the week or in the day to balance both, but then balance your work with your YouTube with your actual relax time, because that's the first thing I will cut out is self-care, is relaxing time. So that's something I'm still struggling with. I'm still working on it, but to me, it is worth it. Even if I have to adjust my schedule, bring it down to 2 videos a week like I did kind of recently. I don't know if I would go down to 1 video a week. I don't know if I would make it different days of the week, but that's still the most difficult part, is just trying to balance everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not done this tag and you have a channel, I would love to see you do this tag. Make sure you tag me now. Actually, within YouTube, you can add other YouTube creators directly, so please tag me. I want to watch those tags. And if you've done this tag a couple of years ago, feel free to redo it. I really want to see how your answers have like changed from back then to now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye. I'm actually really happy with like this look today. I was going for Yennefer from The Witcher, and I think I nailed it. Honestly, like my lines could be a little bit cleaner out here, but like I went through my collection looking for shadows that would match. I ended up using a cream black shadow from Tom Ford, and then I topped it with a Natasha Denona shadow. Let me grab it. It's this shadow from the Mini Gold palette. Let me open it. It's this green shadow that I just dug my nail into in the middle. But I just put it on top of the black cream shadow, and it's actually really pretty. It's a look. And actually, depending on what video or what scene she's in, Yennefer sometimes has a lower lash line like shadow, sometimes she doesn't. So I did a lower lash line today. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of wish I'd done a little bit smokier down there, but anyway, I'm just really happy with today's look.